Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Here to Uplift podcast, where we center the stories of impactful change makers, entrepreneurs, and community leaders. These powerful stories from all the amazing guests featured here inspire us to have more meaningful conversations and ask bigger, better questions. Today is a short episode, what I like to call a minicast, to get the convo flowing. I'm Lolo Fisher, your host, lover of all things wellness, healing, and women's empowerment, and I would greatly appreciate if once you listen, you also show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing this podcast with a friend. Now, let's get into it. So my morning grounding practice is not something that came once and it just worked for me instantly. The truth is, when I first learned about grounding, it was very much a practice of being in nature, being barefoot, feeling nature around you. And while the concept was beautiful to me, it wasn't a realistic practice for me. So in multiple conversations and over a span of years through yoga, dance, meditation, and trying a whole lot of different holistic practices to get my mind right for those stressful days, my grounding practice started coming to me. I do have a daily grounding practice, and it's not necessarily about the typical frame or meaning of grounding in terms of earthing or walking around in nature. Grounding for me is about recentering myself and protecting my peace. Every morning, how can I protect my peace? Where does my peace come from, and what keeps me grounded, aka what keeps me centered? That's where my grounding practice starts. So for me, that includes prayer, stillness, and actually just being quiet for the moment and avoiding social media for the first 30 minutes of my day. Otherwise, I tend to go right into task lists and to-dos and comparison. It includes meditation oftentimes and movement. Those are my grounding practices because I found that that's what works for me, and I start my morning with that every single day, every day that I can. You know, there's some days that don't always go to plan, and if that's the case in the morning, I try to incorporate that grounding practice some other time throughout my day. But for anybody out there who's really trying to figure out what does it mean to ground myself and how do I start a morning grounding practice, you don't have to have it all figured out right away. Just try something today. If it works for you, keep it, and maybe add something else along the way. And if it doesn't work for you, ex-nay it. What works for me, what works for somebody else, it doesn't have to work for you. It's just whatever is going to help you protect your peace. Protect it, center yourself. You got this.